Abarera, Legos, Rambori, Banish, Satan, Demonio, Dinaja, 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 Abarera Nikos Ramori Banish C10 Demonio Dinaja 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 Abarera.
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Apocrypha, the only Apocrypha podcast on YouTube. Hope everyone is doing well. Yep, exactly, which makes it the best. Good to see everybody. Sorry about last week that we didn't go live. Dyra and I went on a little micro vacation. So and found a huntsman in our bed. That was fun. Little
Fuck
baby
that.
huntsman. It was a little.
Was enough to freak us out.
Yeah, it was fast. It was fast. So yeah, and then I think about what 3-4 cockroaches.
Yep, there were a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately in Mexico, avoiding cockroaches is yeah, you just can't avoid cockroaches in Mexico. You just can't.
In Florida, they have wings, and we just call them palmetto bugs so that we don't gross everybody out. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, these ones fly too, but they don't like to.
If I see one fly, I swear that'll be the death of me.
Yeah,
You will see it
micro
down here.
vacations are needed. Yes, Maeve. Yes, they are most definitely. So tonight's topic is a lighthearted one. I thought, out of the options that I was looking at, I think it was the most interesting. The history of tarot, inspired by an exhibition that's happening over in London, and because we've got 2 expert tarot readers, figured it would be nice to hear more from them this evening than myself. So, I mean, I'll interject and add my own 2 cents as far as Oracle's concerned, but for those that know, I generally don't read tarot, I read Oracle cards. So, Curse, you're still alive. God damn. All right. Welcome. So, yeah. Paranormal Witch, welcome. Good to see you. Always good to see you. And so, yeah. But before we get into the topic and any of that stuff, we are going to hand it off here to Mystic to do the weekly read. And
All right.
Tell us what's going on with our energy here.
So I brought a very interesting deck. I actually brought a bunch of decks because I was trying to start to learn the Lenormand process, which is quite different, but I'm not ready for that yet in prime time. So we are going to do a tarot reading for the energy like we normally do, but we're using this really cool deck. I really brought it because I'm kind of at a birthday party slash going away party slash luau, and this is the deck we're going to use. Pirate Tarot. It is a very strange deck. It's very weird. It's a super glossy deck. It's pretty neat. These are really good like outside cards, and I think of them more kind of like as fun cards as opposed to like, I don't think I would do a sit down read with anybody, But I thought it was fitting, for a luau, and since we're doing the show from here, or at least I am, right? It's like let me pull some pirate cards. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull 3 cards, and then we are going to do our thing. And I will show them shortly. So we have, it's hard to see out here. Oh, that is awesome. 10 of Cups. You guys can see that. It's hard to see, I know, because they're like very monotone.
The
but
fuck
the
is
10
that?
of Cups is, huh?
What the fuck is that? I can't see anything.
I know. Hold on. Maybe. Oh, I have 2 phones, right? Hold on. Let's do this. It might glare. I hope not. Might make it worse.
No, that's actually a lot better.
It is.
All right. It's hard to see. I don't like this card, like how they're laid out, right? I wish they would have been just the brown part. It would have been so much better. I don't know why they did this to every card, but the brown part's always the best, right? It's always a little different shade.
For
Anyway.
somebody that doesn't like borders, these cards must be a fucking nightmare for you.
I hate that part of it, but the card themselves is really, like, the actual card is pretty cool. So like, I even thought about cutting them out. I can't stand them for it so much. So that might happen. But you see here 2 people and you see some kids. They're all having a good time, right? This is the 10 of Cups. What's cool about the 10 of Cups is we always say traditionally the happy family card, right? And that means the energy that we're in is it's happy, it's forward motion. It means happy things, units coming together, people getting along and enjoying themselves together. So the energy that we're in right now is starting with that whole, I'm part of a family. This is good. It's not saying we don't have any like, challenges or anything, but it's saying things are going to be all right. This is a very, very, very positive card if you're having, family changes or big changes in life, especially around your friend group or your close-knit family, your close-knit group. If there's some difficulties, the Ten of Cups is saying, hey, we want to do this. This is a good time. This is a very, very, very positive omen of starting out with the family. And Cups is often responding to our emotions and how we feel and how things ebb and flow, right? Life has its cycles, it ebbs and flows. And the Ten of Cups is saying, you're flowing into your tide, to your season that's working well for you. What's also cool is we have the Ace of Cups. So, Ace of Cups. We've got a cup that is pouring over on both sides. We've got somebody working the sea, the fish. You see plentiful, right? Oftentimes, when you see fish, I know this sounds weird, and I'm not making this up, but traditionally is a representation of fertility. The Ace of Cups is fertile things. Things are growing and flowing and going. So this is saying we're in a fertile period. We're in a place where things can become together and grow and become bigger. It's representative of new children. I'm not kidding. If you look at traditional meanings of Ace of Cups, fertility is one of the top reasons. Actually, this card even says it on it, which I can't. So just so you know, I'm not making it, it's backwards, but right there. So, and I just for the record, I can't stand cards that have things written on them. It's a big no-no for me. I don't particularly like that. But Ace of Cups, following a Ten of Cups, great story. If you think like I do in cycles, this is saying the end of one cycle is here, and this is the happy family. It can't end better than that. And now another one's starting right over. Hello, addition to the family, starting something new. Does not have to mean children or a kid. It literally means the restart of something that's going to bring positive emotion and new flows and new things into your life. And then our last one, we have the Captain of Coins. So this is the actual pirate dude, right? Captain of Coins is getting his money. He is taking all the jobs. He is riding his boat, riding his ship, captaining his ship out into the sea. He's not afraid. He's moving forward, but he has everything in order. The Captain of Coins is all about making sure he has his fighters in the right place, his lovers in the right place. Everybody's in the right place because he's strategic and he wants to make money and he wants to support. So going from a Ten of Cups happy family to an Ace of Cups new family traditions and things coming in, and ending on a Captain of Coins is like, hey, this shit is together. This is actually probably one of the most favorable reads that I've done in a group read for us in a very long time. So that was really nice. I do have one thing to end on though, and that is, does anybody know what a pirate's favorite word or letter in the alphabet is?
Or
Anybody? You might think it's R, but it's the C he loves.
It's the sea he loves.
The C. That's my dad joke for the week.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Well, Mystic, thank you very much for the read. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, I curse is like. As always, I really feel like your reads are like really on point.
This is a fun one.
Yeah,
didn't
I
think
know.
it would
And
come
also
out
like
very
your
well with
your
this.
energy is also kind of like was really up there as well. So that was kind of cool to kind of have that, you know. Hold on a second. I think I need to get some light going over here. Ooh, can I get this around?
I mean, honestly, moving the cards that way, I love tarot. Anytime I get tarot in my hands, I do tend to perk up quite a bit. But literally starting with the 10 card is a tarot reader's dream, right? It means things are going right. It's a great place to start. And it colors, at least the way I
Oh, there
read,
we go.
it colors everything else behind it, right? So if you start with one thing, there could be problems and other issues, but it does color with the cards around it. And when you read that as a whole, 10, 1, 12, and you add all of that up, you get your numerology numbers. That's a really good spot.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. That was fun.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good read. Very positive energy. So as I said in the beginning, topic for tonight is going to be actually the history of tarot. We're going to be kind of diving into that. So I think I want to throw some stuff out there at the beginning before we get into the topic. So tomorrow, Adversary of My Adversary is on. Satan and Coffee is on. That stuff is happening. So
Let's give him time.
Huh?
Give him some.
Yeah, so Satan and Coffee is sticking at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay.
That means I need to be out of bed.
Yep. Fuck.
No, I swear, like being pregnant, I sleep like I could sleep the entire day and still go to bed at night just fine. It's a mission getting me up.
It is. It is.
We don't need a clarifier card to know that reaction.
Right. So thanks, Curse. Thank you. So 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Satan and Coffee. You have
I have a class at 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, which would mean that doing Adversary at
Probably
like
about
7 would be good.
7. Yeah,
Give
so
us time to eat.
we'll be doing Adversary, then Adversary of My Adversary. Our podcast will be around 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. That's fine. So also let you guys know, again, just kind of repeating out there, I've got all of my services are over on blackmagicdaira.com for any of you that don't know. Spell services, shadow work services, ritual services, all of that stuff is over on blackmagicdaira.com. I'm also doing spiritual coaching, one-on-one. Reach out to me and ask about that. Like DM me on Instagram or Discord if you're interested in like one-on-one sessions to kind of move your path forward, kind of get the ball rolling with your stuff, kind of rekindle that black flame inside of you to get that kind of that energy back into shit. Just DM me and we could talk about it. And see what's going to work best. Those are priced kind of like on a case-to-case basis. As far as her classes she was talking about, are you still kind of like, do you have like enrollment open on that, or like?
I mean, I haven't because I've just been so absent, I haven't even thought about that, but I guess but because of how rough my first trimester was,
Yeah,
we're
it was
not
rough.
as far into the course as was planned for right now. So I guess that still gives time for people to enroll on it. I mean, what we've done so far is all recorded. And obviously I wouldn't be charging the the original price either.
Yeah, so you'd get a discounted price for it, and you can also do like payments through like something like Klarna or PayPal, paying 4, paying 3. So there's that. I just want to let you guys know. Have you guys started your Sunday thing again yet, Mystic?
We have restarted it, and we are rerun from 10 to like 11:15, 11:30 Eastern, which it ends 45 minutes before your start time.
Okay.
Which is perfect.
Yep.
We've had a lot of fun. We've changed the setup just a little bit so that it's a little more to our liking and a little bit easier. So, we're not holding it to we're doing it. It's Sundays. We may do it, we may not. Because we know how valuable everybody's time is, and we don't want to waste anybody else's time. So we're trying to be good about letting people know if we're not going to be there. But we're deciding literally that morning whether we're going to do it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Also, just to let you guys know about channel memberships. Channel memberships are a thing. It does support the channel. It does support the shows. It supports the content. It keeps things going. But I do want to kind of start getting into putting up kind of like member only content. So starting this week, Wednesday or Thursday, I will be, you're going to start to see things for those of you that are members to the channel. Doesn't matter which tier you're on. You're going to start seeing things rolling in just for you guys that only members are going to be able to see. There's going to be ritual work in there. There's going to be kind of like classes that everybody keeps asking me about, Baphomet and things like that. I'm going to do some basic rundowns of that stuff for the channel memberships. Okay. It's not going to be anything in depth, but it will be a lot of stuff that kind of covers my perspectives and things that like I've experienced doing the work. For anything super in depth when it comes to Baphomet, stuff like that, keep an eye out for witch skills. Witch skills is still a thing. We're working on witch skills. We're actually just talking about mystic and kind of extending out kind of like the tarot course that he has up on witch skills, which is currently what he does have up is active. If you guys want to go through that and see what mystic has to teach you about tarot, go to witch skills and you can buy the course right on witch skills. Okay.
Actually, just so you know, what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight will be from that first week course.
Okay, cool. So you get like a little
It's
sneak
interesting.
preview of it tonight then with us talking about kind of like the history of tarot. So Mystic is always somewhere so fun. I mean, I don't think he's part of the birthday though. Like,
Oh, I am. That's the only reason we're here. But
Oh,
behind
okay.
me is actually, they're doing tattoos. That's the tattoo's girlfriend, tattoo guy's girlfriend.
Okay,
So they're doing tats and stuff in here too. So
that's
this
cool.
is our sober bar if anybody's interested.
Yeah, sober bars are good.
Mhm.
So we have decided that also when we do get married, which will be next year, y'all, it's we're gonna do a dry wedding. We're
Awesome.
gonna do a dry everything.
Dude, we can
So
brew some Calvin Kratom if you want, if it's still legal.
yeah, I'll do it. I'm down for some kava. So anyway, so let's get the ball rolling on the show here. So the history of tarot. So what I have kind of laid out here for okay. That was unexpected. That was unexpected. Sorry about that, guys. I opened up a thing and like just everything went black. So let's see here. Where we at? Where we at? Are you? Well, you said you wanted plain tortilla chips. Those...
Yeah, but I meant like the ones UK that we used to get from Tesco that were really nice.
Yeah, those taste like Cool Ranch Doritos. Those aren't plain tortilla chips.
That's what we can that's what we consider plain.
That's not plain. Those are plain.
These
If you really want plain, you buy some
Paper.
flour or corn tortillas and put them in the oven.
Cool Ranch. Yeah, Cool Ranch is good. I've got the green salsa ones.
Or original.
Y'all weird.
And they are the least popular flavor in the UK.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the points.
Evolution of the
Mm-hmm. So the points that are being covered here, right? The transformation of tarot from a game to a divination tool, influential figures in tarot's history, the resurgence of tarot in contemporary spiritual practices, and the artistic interpretations and their impact on tarot symbolism, which is the one that I'm probably going to have the most to say about. But so starting out with it being a game and going to a divination tool, Mystic, do you want to take the reins on this one?
So we can, yes. So obviously, well, not obviously, but there is a difference in where people feel the tarot came from. And one of the schools of thought is that, and it's kind of the one that makes the most sense to me, is that it was actually two things put together. Initially, with just regular playing cards, right? And their playing cards were used as a game in the royal courts. That's why we ended up with court cards, right? The page, the knight, the queen, and the king. And you'd have a royal fortune teller that worked, as part of the royal support. And they would use these cards to try to divine things and figure out what it was, and it grew over time. And this is supposedly back in the 1400s. I think it's probably a lot older than that, but probably not with the regular playing card style. And then so that's kind of like one of the places it was used, right? It had these regular playing cards. They would do like if you ran the cards and you're the royal enchanter or enchantress, whatever they call you, and you gave feedback to the king and queen, and that didn't work, didn't come through, it could be your head. Like you would be kicked out of the court. You could be blacklisted. You could be excommunicated. Whatever you want to call it, you could be killed. So they had to get really good at this stuff, right? And they would use those cards. Now, at the same kind of time, people using those cards, there were these other kind of like images that were being made that ended up becoming what we call the major arcana. And these were like paintings, usually on some type of oil or animal skin. There was some that were like literally lined with gold, and I can go into that in a little bit. But they were commissioned works of art, and they were used to do kind of the same thing, but they were more of a fortune telling thing. As far as it was designed specifically for that. The other one was supposed to be a little bit more like a game, like they were, playing around with it and who trumps whose cards. But this really formalized, I think it was the 1500s, the actual tarot itself. And then our first ever real tarot deck comes from the 1500s that we know of, the first complete deck. Now, there's also a lot of talk about tarot coming from and its origins from being from different places, right? So you've got Hermes Trismegistus is one of these theories, right? And that says that, the history says that as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice blessed, the 3 times blessed, had this book written, and this book written had the keys to everything in the world. It was all key to all knowledge. I have truly forgotten the name of the book off the top of my head, but it was pretty well known, and I cannot think of it. And in this book were 22 pictures, and those pictures were symbols, and they were made up from that was all the knowledge in the world were within those 21 symbols. That became the first major arcana. And then kind of in the 1550s, it came together where you ended up with your first 78 card deck, which had the ace through the king and the major and minor arcana, which is what we kind of refer to, or at least I refer to, as the Visconti Sforza. That is one of the first formalized complete decks, and they're freaking beautiful. The tarot course, actually, in the week 1 tarot course, does have them in there, and I'm wrong. It's actually the 1400s, so I was a century off. So you also have the Tarot de Marseille, which is another one of those early ones. Interestingly, the Tarot de Marseille is more of a type of tarot card. This was 1490s. And they were block printed cards, and they were more about the style. This is the first one that used like all diamonds for diamonds as a suit. Before they were picture oriented. There's a word for that too. I can't remember. But yeah, so there's no real formal know where the tarot started from. The best and the fullest deck we have is from the mid 1400s. And then you come into like the Sola Busca Tarot, which you can actually get a reprint, which is a completed deck. And the Tarot de Marseille again, which is also partial deck. The one I mentioned earlier, the Visconti Sforza, that was a mixed deck. We do not have all the cards of it because they didn't survive, but they were actually written on animal skins or drawn on animal skins with oil paints and real gold, which is pretty cool. But all of that to say, we started as a card game in one era, but there was also a separate thing happening at the same time, which was that major arcana creation. I do believe that it's much older than what we have. I think that this is just the first time it's really was recorded was when it got into the courts, meaning the king and queen courts. and started becoming a part of that whole jester court thing, you know, where they would do those readings for the royalty. So.
Nice. Very interesting shit. So I'm curious though, like with everything you went over, so where does the one thing that's always kind of like piqued my curiosity when it comes to divination, at least using cards, is the whole concept of gypsies using just normal playing cards.
Yeah.
How does that play in?
So I don't know all the details specifically, but I do talk about that that origin a little bit. And so the playing cards that, and I hate using the term, but it's what the term currently is, which is gypsy, because I know that can sometimes be seen as, you know, an inappropriate term for some people, but this is truly people that created that system themselves. And they used playing cards, but it was a different deck. It was very similar to what we have. It was, I believe, 48 cards. There were no, you know, it was the playing deck without like any jokers in it, basically. You had your 4, and there was a couple other ones that I think it just went, it was 1 through 9, and then had the 3 courts instead of 4. Either way, it worked out to 12 cards per suit, which is a little different than what we have. And they would read differently. It was more like, I don't know what you call it, like a scrying bag or a bone bag, where they'd take the whole deck and they just throw the deck up, and the cards would land, and they would read how the cards interact with each other. There's a deck you can get now called the Gypsy Gypsy Oracle cards. I think it is something like that. I'll have to look at. I have it. And there are these big square cards, and each one has a triangle cut out of them with an image on it. And you lay them all out, and you see where the triangles meet up and the images and colors meet up, and that's how you tell the story, top to bottom, or yeah, left to right, top to bottom. So they didn't read it like we do tarot now, where you pull a card and talk about it. It could be closer to like the Celtic cross, where you pull the whole thing first and see where things are, because that's important. But they would use the whole deck, and more, like I said, like a bone bag, where you throw bones and kind of see where they land, and, you know, how close is that eardrum next to the, I don't know, cow hoof, whatever, whatever's in your bag.
Right.
And you kind of read that, and that's just one thing. You know, I don't know that there's a lot of knowledge or stuff specifically about where or when that changed or how they did it. That was the closest thing I had from the gypsy background. Now, if you're talking about gypsy like in Britain, and I am not an expert on this, I only know a very teeny bit, that was more of a swindle. It was more of the people who were a part of a group that was, you know, held against, or they were discriminated against really terribly and treated like crap. So they would use the cards to go around and do tarot kind of like we do, and upset people and get their money out of it, because they're like, I'm telling you your future, you have to do this and you have to do this. But that's a whole different thing that I don't know a whole lot about. I only know a little bit of what I read in one of my tarot books. And I don't really touch on that in the class because I just don't know enough about it too. But yeah.
Interesting. Anything you want to add to the history?
I mean, I think Mystic gave a really good rundown of it. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, it's
so many different options, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you mentioned like gypsies and playing cards and stuff, it's irritating because it's like that is in my ancestry like 5, 6, 7 generations ago, that has been like so diluted through that that it's almost like not gone, obviously, but like I don't know, that it's just, I think where that side of my family became very like estranged, certain things weren't passed down, which I don't know, just brings up like, I don't know, it's like a bit of like sadness it makes. It's almost like I should have so much more to say on this,
right,
but I don't, so it's like kind of
yeah,
and it's hard to find anything, right? Like, it's hard to really get any information because it was so closed off.
Mm.
They really didn't share with anybody else either. And when I did try to dig into it a little bit, it was kind of, I don't want to say it wasn't scary. It was, and I hate to use the word pity, but you feel like, wow, these people were really taken advantage of for a very long time. I really don't want to take anything away from them unless I know. So you just kind of leave it alone. But it would be neat to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just, I think it's one of those, it's just one of those things though. It's like, if you know it, you know it. And if you don't, you don't. And that's just it.
Mm.
So I think that that's kind of like all that there is that goes into it. So the kind of, for you to kind of continue the progression here. So what do you think are some influential figures in tarot's history for you? Whether it be people that have made decks, people that have developed ways of reading.
I mean, like, I feel like most people's first deck was like the Rider-Waite deck,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was definitely mine.
Same here.
You know, it's relatively easy to read. But you know what I think is like a massively underrated deck, which came before Rider-Waite, I think. Yeah, I did. It's the Marseille deck. I fucking love that deck so much. Like, I don't have it because I've been obsessed with like getting like the best quality like version of it as possible. There's just something about it. It's super, super traditional. And yeah, I saw it when I was in Edinburgh last year. I saw it in this little witch shop I came across, but they'd massively like, you know how like small businesses really ramp up their prices because like they have to like make profit. And I just kind of stared at this like Marseille deck for ages, and I was sort of like, oh man, like do I, don't I? And I didn't. So like it's a deck I've always wanted, but like whenever I've come across it, it's never felt right to
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like, that's crazy. Oh, it'd be hard not to get.
What about you, Mystic? Like, what do you think are some influential people? I have one name listed here is Pamela Colman Smith.
Yeah, so she's the Smith of Rider-Waite Smith of the RJBS. She's the kind of the illustrator of most of the cards, of all the cards, and the traditional. And that's kind of where it all started with the traditional decks. So I do talk about her in the course too, and I don't have the course up in front of me, so I can't remember the detail on it, but I know she did free draw, and she pulled it from imagery from some of that previous stuff that she knew about, like the Visconti Forces of Tech in 1425, the Solobusca, and the Marseille. So she used some of that imagery, but she also used the imagery from Rider, like that he wrote, along with the meaning of the decks and the meaning of the cards. So definitely influential. I think one interesting thing to know is about tarot for me, anyways. When you do look at tarot, people are really like intimidated by it for some reason. I'm like, there's a lot more to it than that. It's not near as intimidating as you think it is when you start getting into it. But starting with a Rider-Waite based deck is usually a good thing because it's more balanced and organized. And then if you start with something like True Black, for example, or the Light Seers, or any of these other really common decks, like they are still based on Rider-Waite to a degree, and they'll say it in their meanings, but it's so much harder to get out of it what you really are looking for than if you start with the Rider-Waite. My favorite deck that's in that style is called Morgan Greer, and it's like the same imagery, but it's different enough that it's just, I don't know, it's warmer. Like it's just easier to read for me. So that is one of my favorite traditional decks. I don't like traditional imagery very much, so it doesn't speak to me. But if I had to pick one, that would be like, if I could only have one tarot and it can't be my favorite tarot deck, it would be Morgan Greer, because it's followable. You can sit with a card for a week and look at it, and you will find something new in it every day. And it speaks, and that's so. So the Morgan Greer deck is important. Obviously, I mentioned Hermes Trismegistus, who's, nobody knows if he's really real or not. Then, of course, there's Crowley. And more modern, quote unquote, modern decks has had a big influence on some of the decks that are out there too.
Yeah. I think.
Sorry, I just need to say something about
Yeah.
Morgan Greer. Like
Yeah.
that was my go-to deck for like a solid like 2 years.
Mhm.
I think what I really like about it is because like, you get tarot decks where there's nothing wrong with this. It's just my preference. A lot of the cards look the same. There's very distinct difference. There's very like subtle differences between each card. But if they have like a very kind of like not a very broad like color scheme and things like that, it can feel, I don't know, for me, like I interpret a lot from not just the card's meaning, but like the symbolism within the card. And for that, it's also about the colors, right? Like the colors evoke a certain mood, a certain energy. And what I love about Morgan Greer is every card is very, very different. So yeah, that was a go-to of mine for ages.
I always just say it's a warmer deck. Like it feels more alive than Rider-Waite.
Yeah, no, definitely. I prefer it over Rider-Waite for sure.
I don't know. The first deck I ever used was a Rider-Waite deck. It was one of them, the decks of jumbo cards with the picnic table fucking backs on it. Right.
I love it.
I used those. I got it for like $5, like back in the day, like from Azure Green. I ordered it from Azure Green. I remember that, like the catalog. It was on sale for like $5, so I ordered it.
I was gonna say my very first deck was a handmade deck from a friend of mine in Virginia. Her name is Adana Lee. I wish I could catch back up with her again, but she basically gave me the deck because I'm like, I want to learn how to read. She owned a consignment shop that was all occult. She taught me how to like make candles, how to imbue. It's just everything I know about the beginning of Wicca. And she gave me that first deck to learn from. Again, all handmade, hand drawn. It was hers, and she wouldn't give me a book or tell me anything about them. So I spent about a month with them, and then came back and did reads for her. That's how I learned. And she obviously took the cards back. They were just on loan. But I mean, I would kill to get those again.
Yeah. So for some reason, when I started reading, I think I did pretty good with that first deck, that first tarot deck. But then when I started to get into Oracle, I remember I found my first Oracle deck, which was the Fairy Oracle. And
Great, Brian Froud, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And for some reason after that, like I can't read tarot. Like it doesn't matter how many decks I buy, how many different kinds of decks. Like I lay out the cards and I'm just like, nothing happens.
Yeah, that makes sense. I remember my first Oracle deck. I can't remember like specifically what it was called, but it was all about like goddesses and the moon. So it was a really beautiful deck, but I did not know what the fuck I was doing when I used it. And so I just kept it because the cards were pretty, and then didn't use it for reading at all, and just stuck to tarot. Oracle-wise, what do I even have? Like Oracle, I mean, barely anything now that we've moved here, but we've got like 2 decks now, which is just
The
depressing.
Halloween one was nice.
Oh yeah, I love that one. I did I did in-person readings with that Halloween Oracle, and it's
I did too.
you get all sorts of
I used it in Glastonbury.
yeah, you get all sorts from it, don't you? But yeah, no, I can't wait to fucking up our collection again, because oh my god, the amount of like occult shit we've had to sacrifice moving over here is just sad. Like it's not gone, it's in a storage unit, and it's so annoying because we have it and it's gonna be sent over, but it's fucking waiting for it. Like
It's a pain. It's such a pain. I mean, to be fair, so one of the things I was missing, I like to have like a nice big sigil behind the altar, like depending on what I'm working with. And so we decided to, well, it's like, well, we fucking sell them on the website, so might as well buy some of our own shit. So we
Not a good
bought
business
couple,
decision, you know.
right? My God, these
Kidding.
things are so, like, I'm not even bold. I'm not saying it because we sell them, but it's such good quality. The flags, like the fabric is so thick. The print is such, it's such high quality.
It's not one of those prints that's gonna flake.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
It's like part of the fabric, you know? And the whole idea of, and I'm sorry that this is turning into like a fucking advertisement, but it's not meant to be, but I'm legitimately excited about this product.
It is excited when we first like launched them, but now that we have them ourselves, we're like, oh my God, these are so fucking cool.
Like, I mean, one of the things I love about it is the fact that obviously they're flags, right? So they're all the same size. So when you put up to have like one, and if you want to switch it out, it's so easy just to pop off the one and put up another one. Like if you're changing who you're working with. And that's one of the things that always irritated me about buying like fucking like altar cloths and stuff like that online, is they're all different sizes, shapes, and shit like that. Like, so it's like you have to like have like nails or screws or hooks like all over the fucking place, you know, to hang them up. And like the fact that these are all the same size is like boom, boom, boom. It's super fucking easy. I love it. I love it.
People are talking about Lisa Frank tarot.
But anyway, that's just going into the fact that we don't have any of our occult shit.
Oh no.
And it was a oh yeah, no, I've seen that new. Nope. But you know, your own tarot cards. I have a deck that I've made that's completely made. Well, the designs are done, just haven't printed them yet. And I'm trying to figure out the best place to go through to put them up for sale and get them printed, because I want to make sure that they are good quality. I don't want to print them half-assed.
That is the worst death card I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God.
Whose is that? The one you made or a different one?
No.
Be funny. I don't know how it's gonna like. Is this
turn
even gonna focus?
the brightness down.
Oh, okay. Mystic, I really need your thoughts on this. Now it's just like fucking black, right?
Here, hold on.
We're just gonna
Do it now. It's just not adjusting
I'm just
to
gonna
it.
Send it.
Yeah.
I really need to like. I need to hear his thoughts on this. This is like, yeah.
What deck is it?
Lisa Frank.
I've never heard of it.
Yes, I'm really sorry for what I'm about to like do here. You probably would have been better like not knowing.
Slim and Lewis, they're on
Jesus Christ.
blackmagicdiarrhea.com. Know what?
Jesus Christ.
Right? Yeah, a blind gay man would see that and go, "Oh my God."
You know I have to buy it now. This is probably the worst imagery I think I've ever seen. Okay, that's a lie. It's not the worst. I've definitely seen worse decks.
Have
That
you?
is a lot of rainbow.
Yeah, it's a little much. I mean, if somebody's using it, it works for you. If there's anybody in the chat that's using it and it works for you, then all the power fucking to you.
Yeah,
It's just
every deck
not
has
our,
a
it's just
place.
not our vibe.
Holographic ones.
The occult tarot, the occult tarot. You know what?
Occult
I
tarot is
have a
great.
copy of the occult tarot. I never use it as a tarot deck.
It is my go-to. I only use the occult tarot for my personal readings though. I don't use them on clients.
What I'll do, like when I read,
It's my deck.
like if somebody wants something that's like demonically focused, I'll pull a card from the occult tarot, and that'll be like the main house for the reading. And then I'll go to either one of my oracle decks and pull from the oracle deck, and just kind of go that way. But I don't go off of the meaning of the card. I go off like the the house of the demon.
Mhm.
So
I don't use that one too much. I do have it, but I use the Travis McHenry Angel deck and the Demon deck and put them together. It's my
yeah,
double
I
deck
remember
reader.
that night you did that live.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just said, fuck it. He took the angel tarot and the occult tarot and just mixed them together.
I actually really want the angel. Looked for it. Like in
Big
not
ass
like
deck.
online, but like just in shops and stuff. 'Cause I don't really look for tarot decks online that much. It's usually like I go into shops and I'm like, what they got.
I always look for tarot decks simply because I want one tarot deck that works for me. I would like to have one tarot deck. I think, okay, I do have one tarot deck that kind of works for me. And I would say that would be the Diablo deck.
That card,
yeah.
that deck is so pretty.
Like, I mean, just unfortunately, the cards are fucking massive, but it works, right? Like, Daniel, you don't need to justify why you bought it. You like it, you're into it, like, or for amusement, whatever the reason might be, all the power to you. You have nothing to justify to us. We're
Also-
not judging you. We're judging the cards, but we're not judging you.
Also, because
Yeah.
Damon Tarot is very interesting. Yeah, it is. But what annoys me is it's not a tarot deck. It's called
It
Damon
is not.
Tarot. It's not a tarot deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not. Yeah.
It should be called Oracle. It's misnamed. It's
That I
false
was
advertising.
I was going to bring that up earlier to get your thoughts on that too. You know, when does a tarot deck really become an oracle deck? Because there's some that have so many extra. They're just nuts. Like I think they're just like running off the name.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you'll be reading like a tarot deck and suddenly like a card comes out that's like not a tarot card. Like, yeah, I remember I had this deck. It was God, this was years ago. We're talking like 7 years ago. I had this deck called like She-Wolf Tarot or something. And it was a tarot deck. It had tarot cards, but they added in like 10 extra cards.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like all this random shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like they weren't even like coherent in what they were. Like one of them just said like Sagittarius on it. And then like another one said Saturn. And they didn't have like I thought you would have thought that like, okay, if they're gonna put Zodiac in the deck, they would use all the signs. But they just threw in like Sagittarius. I was like, okay, like
I have a couple of decks that I can't like I don't bring online because they're triple X decks, which is really funny. Surprisingly, I read very well from them. And they do this like it's almost like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like you buy the tarot deck and then you can buy add-ons, and they're all complete. And so you can get his Oracle. I think it's Feather and Stone Oracle, and then you can like add in if you like numerology. There's numerology cards you can add in. If you like cosmology, then there's certain planet cards you can do. In astrology, there's astrology. So it's really neat how he did it, but these are oracle cards. My favorite tarot cards of all ever, period, or I guess I should say favorite author of tarot cards is James Eads, which I talk about a lot. He does the Prisma Visions, Light Visions, Cosmo Visions, and Mirror Visions. And they're all decks that are quite different. They are tarot. There is some bit of it that's a little weird because he adds a card or two, but they're always major arcanas and they always are like the unknown versions of something. But he's the one that most of his decks, if you line up the pip cards in a row, they make a complete picture all the way across. And then his mirror visions are that kind of, you run your finger on it and it makes that zippy noise. Because if you hold them just a little bit over, they're two different cards at the same time. So it's like a real card and an inverted card, two cards in every one, called the mirror visions. It's really neat. But the way he does them is so cool, but it always helps me kind of figure out. I can see in his cards when they become oracle versus tarot, because he's basically like, you go, if it's more than two cards off of a standard deck, is an oracle deck. It's completely different now.
Yeah, I think this conversation kind of goes into the last part we want to talk about, which is the artistic interpretations, right? And their impact on tarot symbolism. So here's the thing. I can't necessarily think of anything. Hey, I got you that. I bought you that deck.
Yep, that's one of mine.
I love the artwork in that deck, but the
Didn't mean to interrupt.
the fucking font is so stupid.
Oh,
Like-
it is. It is.
Like it's like
It
you have
ruins
this
the card.
amazing artwork, and then you said, "What? Let's just grab a random font off of defont.com and throw it on the fucking deck." Like, like
I
I'm
agree
so
100%.
disappointed in that.
It would have been better without words at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they would have done a version of it without anything on it, look at the fucking letter. Like the artwork is amazing. It's so good. And then that the 6 of swords at the bottom, or the whatever the card is, it just, as a graphic designer, it hurts my fucking soul.
It sounds like you gotta read it like 6 of swords.
It's artistic interpretation, right? I can tell you, there is a deck that somebody made that I love. The imagery is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I can't use it because of the font. And it's a good deck. I love the imagery. So I think that person is making a second version of it, or mentioned making a second version with a different font. But so beautiful. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, I didn't mean
so-
to interrupt. It just,
No,
I
it's
forgot to
okay.
add 'em with
So, I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with there being so many options out there for tarot and oracle and things like that, because it gives you something to go for, right? I just think because I'm such a fucking indecisive fucking person, like when I go and I start looking at tarot decks, like the first 3 I look at, I'm like, okay, these are kind of interesting. Let's see what else there is. And then my brain goes down this fucking rabbit hole, and I legitimately get anxiety, like when I start like looking at too many of them, because then like it's almost like when you go to test out perfumes and like you need to stop and sniff some coffee because your palate gets too. Yeah, that's what happens to me visually, right?
Makes sense.
And so the thing is, it's like, and I think some of them, like here, I know I'm gonna be a hypocrite with this because I own the fucking Diablo Tarot and I like it. But I do think for the most part, I think the Diablo Tarot, 1, it's fucking Diablo, so it plays well with tarot. But 2, I think using tarot cards as a franchise add-on to make money off of like a TV show franchise or a movie franchise, I don't think that they're executed properly. Like
oh no.
like if you remember, like back in like the
They're
90s
afterthought.
and the 80s, when like TV shows would have like fucking playing cards, like baseball cards or basketball cards, like Friends had their own fucking deck of cards. Like you can go to a gas station, buy like a Friends booster pack, and you get like different scenes with fucking Joey on it. You know, or fucking Chandler or
They're
whatever.
probably worth a fuckload of money
Nope.
now.
Dude, I have a lot of those decks, but none of them do I read with. They're all novelties. Supernatural, Fallout. They're cute, but they certainly
Even
to me,
the Nightmare Before Christmas, when I was so disappointed when I saw that,
Oh,
I was kind of excited for it because I thought, okay, this is something that could potentially work, and I really like the Nightmare Before Christmas. And then I saw the cards, and I'm like, no.
I just had a memory. Come on.
Okay.
I remember like the first time I came on the Apocrypha podcast, Mystic was reading the most obscene deck I've ever seen in my life.
which one?
I cannot remember for the life of me, but it was such a weird deck. And like you even commented, you were like, that's a really strange deck. It was when
I
you had your
think I know
setup
which
with
one
like
that
your like shelf kind of behind you and your lights, and you had your decks behind you.
Yeah, that's not going to help. We did a lot of shows like that.
There's
Yeah.
there
but,
no
like,
there's one deck that you've been critical of a lot of them, because I'll read even if I don't like them, like just for the show to experience the deck. And this was the only one you just said like, I really don't like those. And there's 2 decks you've said that about, but this one was, I think, you're a little bit oh my god, I've got to figure out which ones they were. And it wasn't that long ago. Show in Showtime. Like a year maybe, if that.
It must have been like 18 months ago or something. But I don't know, just the layout on it was really weird. And I think I want to say it was like a video game deck.
Probably.
Yeah. And
Or what was it, like kind of pixelated looking? Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, it was like the
I
8-bit
I
or
do have one
16. It's
called
like
the
the 8-bit tarot or
tarot.
16-bit tarot or something like that.
Yeah, I have the 8-bit tarot, but it is a but I think that's probably not the one though, because I have other pixelated decks, but the 8-bit tarot actually follows Rider-Waite symbolic symbols pretty well. It's ugly as shit, but
let me
God, I'm
see
gonna
if
have to
it
find
was
that
or
now.
not.
I'm gonna look that up, and when I get home, I'm gonna run through everything and see if I can find them. I
Yeah,
stopped counting my decks.
In Curse, like I'm not saying there's anything wrong if it works for you. Like I mean, I own the Diablo, you know, the Diablo tarot, which is a franchise. It's a franchise tarot.
I don't think. No, it wasn't this one.
Yeah, no.
It was even
Let's be
fucking
honest.
weirder than that. It looked like some Pokemon shit.
Yeah, it was like it
I'm
was a
gonna have
video.
to
It was
find it.
video game like focused. Yeah, I remember what when you're talking about. Yeah, because I even said that we were gonna clip something that you said about it from the show, because you said it like, oh, what was it? I'll have to go back into the episodes. I can go back through the episodes and find it. But yeah,
I'm gonna
I know
look.
what you're talking about.
I actually own a lot of decks that I don't like, because I'm a Virgo and I'm collecting shit that I don't need forever. If I out of about 500 decks now, I probably like 300 of them. I use about 5.
It's like me with fonts.
Every once in a while, I'll grab one if it's the right time, but it's not often.
As a graphic designer, that sounds like me with fonts. Like I have over 2,000 fonts. I generally use probably about 20, 30 of them, but ones that like I actually like and enjoy, maybe 5 or 6. Like, so yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the point that I'm trying to get to with this is I do feel like, I don't know, like I feel some of the novelty decks, because they're not executed properly, convolute the market and are slightly disrespectful, like to the craft of divination. Now, does that mean that they don't have their place? No, but this is just my opinion, right? Go for it, Mystic.
I'm just catching up on the chat. I have to agree with Curse. The Disney villains one, it's actually really good. Hocus
Really?
Pocus did not do it for me, but the villains one, and I think that might be part of it too, because Disney is an Imaginarian kind of company, right? So they're going to put more into it than somebody else might. Like Supernatural, All Out, they're crap. But the Disney villains one, I could probably read with that.
I imagine the Disney one to be like really egregoric. That could be quite cool for some pop magic, but that's a whole other rabbit hole that I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go into, because it's going to really annoy you, because you think it's a load of shit, and it's also just very
We have
out
to do
there.
a show about that then.
It's a very out there concept.
Oh, we can make
maybe
that.
maybe next week.
Yeah, well, maybe we can dive into that next week. And it's not that I don't have issue with like I don't have issue with the idea of an egregore. It's just yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole to go down with that. We'll do it for next week. But yeah, so I think when it comes to that now, the impact on tarot symbolism, I feel like some people that have made tarot decks have completely lost like the base on it, like the symbol, the actual symbolism that came from tarot, like things like Rider-Waite, and just kind of throw shit together that doesn't make sense.
I've got an idea.
What?
A US president oracle deck.
That probably already exists.
Oh, I'm looking that up now. But I think what you're saying rings to me. Like I'm thinking too, like if we think of this like as this big ass game of telephone, right? It used to be that the images is what drove tarot and the meaning behind it, not the book. It was the image. And then we had the books come after it because, I want everybody to understand. Then they took the book and are trying to make the images match for it again. And
Exactly.
you lose every time you go back and forth a little something. So to me, if you can read with it, that's great. But I can almost bet that if you are reading with Disney villains or Fallout or Supernatural or even Diablo, that you have probably done tarot with another deck first.
Yeah.
If I had started with those, I think I'd have been completely lost.
Yeah, I think the Diablo one did pretty good though with the like the way that it was
Oh,
drawn out. And I think it was original artwork as well.
For those, I literally would just, there's light. I literally would just like buy them all and put them up on the walls.
Yeah, like the artwork in the Diablo deck is just amazing. And I'll tell you right now, like I know that the Diablo deck is a tarot deck. I do not read it as a tarot deck. I read it as an oracle.
There's a President's Tarot on Etsy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like. There's a lot of Biden on it. Like every other card seems to have Biden on it.
That's
Yeah,
the
we're
devil.
looking at
That's
it.
a good devil.
These
These actually aren't terrible. I wouldn't buy them. They're not in the
Yeah, I
font
wouldn't
is
buy
all-
it either.
Again,
Especially at like 28 pounds.
It's down from 62.
Yeah, well, I wonder why. But yeah, so yeah, that's definitely so I mean, I don't know. I do think that the flooding of the market has kind of I agree with what Mystic has said, that it has created like a scenario with tarot that we're more focused on what the meaning of the cards are via the book than we are like with the imagery. And I think the important part of tarot to always take into consideration, to always remember from the get, is the imagery. The imagery marches like the connection forward. You know, I think that like if you go in and you're only worried about what the book says, right? You're losing the nuance of interpretation to what it is that you're reading. I can pull the same 3 cards in the same exact position for 4 different people, and they're going to mean something different.
yeah. I think that's what's so neat about Oracle is they're not held to the bounds of the book. Right now, the artist, I like Oracle and I do read the books for Oracle cards because I do want to know what that artist meant when they were drawing it. But they're so much more open, really, than tarot is. Now you can read tarot intuitively, which is I studied the actual meanings of them from books and from the Rider Waite, but it doesn't always work for me. Like you see what you see, and you have to be willing to let go of the book when you're, to me, when you're doing tarot. You can't just can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, there's too many times also, like, I think another thing that's kind of turned me off from it is when I was doing online readings, which is how you met me on Twitch. There were a few times that I was using a tarot deck and I do interpretive readings,
But
and people would, like, that I'm reading for, people in the chat would go, well, that's not what that card means. And it's like, I don't care what the card means. That's not how I'm reading it. Well, then you don't know, then you don't know how to read. And it's like, that's not how this
Yeah.
works.
that always pissed me off. You know, I can hear somebody if they say, "Hey, that's not the traditional meaning. How did you get that?" We got it. Good. We'll talk it out. But yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so with that being said, guys, we are actually a little bit overtime tonight. It has been absolutely fucking amazing to see you guys again. Just to repeat, channel memberships are still open. When you subscribe to the channel, or when you subscribe to a membership, I guess, like when you get a membership to the channel, it does help the shows. It helps keep us going. So it's really helpful. And also this week, I'm going to start putting out exclusive content just for channel members. So you guys got, you know, a little bit coming back to you. So just to kind of keep that in mind. So Wednesday, Thursday, you guys should be seeing a video popping up for that. It doesn't matter what tier you're on. As far as services are concerned, blackmagicdiary.com. Somebody asked about the flags, where to get the flags. I think there was Slim that asked about that. At blackmagicdiary.com. That's CK, not just a C for magic. And you can get the ritual flags there. So yeah, definitely look into that if you're interested. I think they're
Do you
also
have a
reasonable.
link in the Discord?
A link in the
for it?
Discord. I can drop one in there.
Yeah.
Let me hold on a second. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me drop it in. I'll just drop it in the general chat here. I need to pull up. Oh. Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't type for shit right now.
I really need to update the website.
Yeah, why is that?
There's not a huge clearance sale happening now.
Very true. Very true.
Just don't tell them, nobody will notice.
Very true. Very true.
That clearance sale was over a month or two ago, so
There's the and also here's another thing that we're going to be doing, guys, with the flags. I'm also going to drop in the chat here. We are going to be taking custom requests for the flags. If you have a specific sigil that you want on a flag, reach out to them, either myself or Dyra, and we'll kind of tell you what's the process with that, right? For a custom flag. So if there's a commission charge to it, right? So depending on how you want that worked, if you want it to be just something for you, something 100% unique that doesn't go public, that commission charge is significantly higher than if we make something and then it's released as something that everyone can purchase. So those are two options. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for fucking being here. We love doing Apocrypha. We will see you guys tomorrow for Adversary of My Adversary. I'll see you guys
and Satan and Coffee.
And Satan and Coffee.
I won't be here for that. You will. I'll be downstairs drinking chai.
So yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning for Satan and Coffee. And we will see you for Adversary. Adversary, you guys doing your thing tomorrow, Mystic?
We should be, yeah. I think we're going to do it tomorrow morning, starting at 9:45 Eastern.
All right. Cool. Sounds awesome. And again, one last thing. Again, the Left Hand Path coaching, one-on-one coaching, spiritual coaching, that's open. DM me, Instagram, Discord, if you're interested. You guys have a wonderful evening. You guys are fucking amazing. And as always, hail thy fucking self. See you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.
Deuces.